What's up, Internet? Kevin here with TechVilleSunshine Dinner, bringing you my review of Duke Nukem Forever for the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. After having waited 12 long years for a proper Duke Nukem sequel, it's fair to say that the game has not aged well at all. It seems as though Gearbox's lead intent with the game was to try and pump up the character of Duke as much as possible, but spent almost no time refining actual gameplay. The controls themselves on console are terrible, not due to button layout, but to how awkward the right stick works. It seems as though even with adjusting sensitivity, you never quite turn or look in the direction you feel like you normally would, making long-distance aiming really annoying. This is not helped by the fact that enemy hitboxes at times make almost no sense, as you can fire a shotgun into melee sometimes, dealing no damage, and other times you can aim at a foot and just see the whole enemy explode. Even melee hits sometimes don't connect in the way they feel they should, causing massive frustration when you die, not because the game is difficult, but because that crucial melee hit just misses for no apparent reason. This hurts even more when the Xbox 360 version has terrible load times, sometimes taking as long as a half a minute, and this is every time you die or reach a new level. Though they did do a good job of making some funny loading screen comments to make up for it. To help try mix things up every now and then, the campaign offers a few breaks from standard FPS play, including turret and driving missions. Turret missions are decently fun, while driving missions can vary between okay and outright painful. Duke's truck controls just as awkwardly as his ability to aim, and the game's physics engine appears to be non-existent. Players will also be occasionally shrunken, forced to deal with navigating their way through large objects, fighting other shrunken enemies, and sometimes even dealing with full-sized ones. One thing the main campaign did that I do like, however, was Duke's health bar, the ego meter. As Duke does more awesome things, his max health will increase, which not only includes defeating bosses, but also by interacting with different objects such as lifting weights or even playing a game like pinball. It was a fun concept to reference back to Duke's massive ego, and making him better at surviving due to how awesome he is just fits the style perfectly. Alongside the campaign, Duke Nukem Forever also offers an online multiplayer mode, which consists of most of the FPS standards like Deathmatch, King of the Hill, and the Duke version of Capture the Flag entitled Capture the Babe, in which teams compete not for flags, but for girls stationed at each base, who while being carried will try to cover your eyes and you have to smack them to make them stop. The bad FPS controls carry over into online, making some weapons all-out superior thanks to a lesser necessity for aiming, such as the shotgun or rapid-fire weapons like the freeze ray. Most of the people that were really excited for the release of Duke Nukem Forever were more excited about the actual personality of Duke rather than the gameplay itself, yet even that doesn't come through as well this time around. While occasionally throwing out references to pop culture and action movies from the 90s, sometimes it seems as though the game is trying too hard to be funny, and will oftentimes provide over-the-top characters that end up being more annoying than actually entertaining. I admit I had a good laugh here and there throughout the story, but what little made me laugh was not worth playing the rest of the game. To be honest, it got to the point where playing the game almost felt like a chore, and the only thing that kept me playing was the fact that I wanted to make sure I knew for sure that the game did not get any better after the first hour. The strangest thing about Duke Nukem Forever is that while it did take 12 years to make, albeit it changed hands between many developers several times, it still feels as though it was a big rush job at the end. I'm willing to forgive out-of-date graphics for a game that's taken this long to make, especially since it started back in the 90s. However, this does not forgive the fact for bad gameplay or even bad attempts at good humor. The other problem is the fact that Duke Nukem itself was a perfect fit for the 90s. It was a parody of all those major action movies that were coming out at the time, and for its time it was perfect. The style of comedy, the way the game worked, it was very much a game for its time. Being pushed back 12 years didn't work in its favor. The problem is that while it still tries to cling to these old action movie jokes, they also try to attempt to do things about modern day humor, and it just doesn't mix well at all, and really it just feels completely out of place. The game may be worth picking up for those of you who really just want to be hardcore fans and pick up the game, or just want to reminisce about the old jokes from the first one, but overall the average gamer should not really be interested in this at all. And even if you are really interested in picking it up, I'd suggest waiting for a price drop or something because it is just not worth the full $60 right now. That's my review of Duke Nukem Forever. In case you guys didn't get a chance, yesterday John released a whole slew of videos on Final Cut Pro 10 for its release. I also did a first look at Dungeon Siege 3 if you want to take a look at that. Till next time, I'm Kevin for TLD. Thanks for watching.